Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I am very happy to have you here. We are going to dive right in with your reading today. We're using this deck, which is one of my favorites. It's absolutely beautiful and I love it. I hope you like it too. If you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome. It's very nice to have you. These are general readings, so keep that in mind. Take only what resonates and leave the rest. If you feel like roles are reversed at any time, or if your intuition gives you a message from a card, please heed your own intuition first and foremost. Always, always, always. You have all the answers within you. All right, here we go. For Pisces, please, Spirit, show us what Pisces needs to know right now. What does Pisces need to know right now? Can I get one more for Pisces, please? Okay, that is a chunk. I am going to put that back in. I'm going to shuffle. Just getting big chunks here, Pisces. Wow, you got the Ace of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Wow. Okay, Pisces, huge shock. You've got Leo showing up here, and you also have Libra showing up here. You have the alchemy of the Seven of Swords, the alchemy of strength, the alchemy of the Nine of Cups, the alchemy of justice, and the alchemy of the Ace of Cups. Somebody hasn't been honest with you, Pisces. They have been holding back. And they're holding back because they don't have the courage, like, of their conviction, or they don't have the courage. Hold on, let me turn this down. They're stuck to a lower vibrational thing that prevents them from being honest, from acting on their truth, or from being able to live their truth or have the courage of their convictions. What is the Seven of Swords? We're going to look at it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Pisces, okay, these are the three we're taking, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at these others, okay? So, what we're taking on the card is change, patience, and breathe. Okay, so, the Seven of Swords is not a permanent condition. It is a minor arcana. It is something that once our insight is brought to our awareness or whatever, we do have the capacity to change it, influence it, sway it, move it. It's not a major arcana. So here's what I see. You're dealing with somebody here who's got some inner child issues, some wounding around love. They may have been emotionally neglected. They may have been abused. They may have grown up in a narcissistic family or a toxic family system that really they didn't learn what love was or what unconditional love was. This person, it's like Spirit has guided them to you. Spirit has continuously shown them signs, synchronicities, different things. Because, we all deserve love, right? And we don't want to be the person that's always giving the love and not receiving the love. But this person is capable of love. They just have to uncover what is preventing them from it. And I feel like this person, to me, what I'm getting from this is a little bit of a person who really wants to understand love, a person who really, you know, they recognize that they come from kind of a rocky place, but what's deep in their heart is this desire to experience love. And I think that they have possibly even prayed about it, asked about it, wanted it, wished for it, hoped or dreamed that one day they'd be loved or find love. You have this guide and you have this compassion, which is a compass. It's like there is definitely like the divine and divine guidance at play here, divine intervention even. I feel that there is going to be a new opportunity here. You have the Ace of Cups, so that is what we are talking about. It's on the bottom of the deck. We're talking about a new opportunity in love. And with Justice being your end card, I'm just going to tell you that if this relationship cannot be balanced, if it cannot come into union, if it cannot find its way to a new beginning, there will be a new beginning. You will get your wish fulfillment. You have the Nine of Cups with Justice. Like what you have given, what you have put out will come back to you, if not from the person you gave it to, another source. I feel that you have led with your heart. I feel like you have followed the impressions of your heart, the voice of your heart. You have let your heart be your true north, Pisces. And it may have felt as though you were just giving, and you were not receiving. But love is energy. And when we give it, that energy goes forth out into the collective consciousness. It doesn't die. It's not like you're investing your love. And if that person walks away, well, then everything you've invested in is lost. Absolutely not. That's not how it works. Your love has gone out and has mattered. And you see how there's two birds here. For some of you, I feel there could be two people coming towards you, possibly one from your past and possibly a new one. You do have like a pomegranate type fruit here on this card. And of course, that reminds you of the story of Persephone, where she had to go to the underworld 6 months out of every year. But it's kind of like this has taught you the shadow and the light of love, right? This is something that has no stain on it. The new love is something that is nothing but a potential blossom. You know what I mean? It's only easy. It's only good. It's only, beautiful. It doesn't have any shadow in it already. There is a balance and with the universe, everything has to balance out. So if you have put forth love into the world and you have not received it, it will come back to you. It may not come back to you from the same source, but it will balance out. You will find union. You will find someone that is able to share in this energy with you, who is able to accept the love that you're offering, who is able to let that love flow through them and also from them back to you. You will find it. This separation or this time apart, or possibly if you have been alone for a while, it's an opportunity to recharge your batteries. It's an opportunity to visualize and manifest and ask the universe for what you want. There is something really good coming out of what you have already given. It came from a good place. All right. So on the Seven of Swords, there is this energy of change, patience, and breathe. And for me, this is saying to me, there is a recognition that someone was not ready to, act in alignment with how they felt, say how they felt, even, express themselves. This is someone who, it's like their words and their actions defied their heart. It's like they let their thinking mind take over, and their thinking mind led them in the wrong direction, as often it does. Our heart and our intuition are our truest guides. So the breathe part says to me that this is in separation for a phase of healing. And with patience, it's saying to me this may have been something that has taken a long time. But then with change on top, it's like change takes time. Change is not something that happens overnight. Change is something that happens in its own time, in divine timing. And as we as human beings can allow it, accept it, open up to receive it, right? And that's, very rarely are we like, okay, I'm ready to change. Poof, we change. That doesn't really happen. It doesn't really work like that. It comes with introspection and healing and opening up layer after layer after layer and allowing evolution and integration to take place. Okay, well, we have the strength card. So for me, this strength card, it felt like somebody who was initially, they were resistant to the change. They were resistant to doing things different. They were even possibly resistant and holding back from the connection. The strength card, though, is our opportunity. When we ask ourselves, why am I holding back? If the answer is, I'm scared, if the answer is, tied to a lower vibrational energy within ourself, then we have the opportunity to lean into that and to see where the change, the opportunity exists within us to break free of the lower vibrational things that are holding us back. And so let's clarify this alchemy of change. You also, in this reading, have a 7, 8, 9, and then an 11. Which is telling me that there is progress. Okay, even in the silence, there is progress. Wow. This person, I feel like their ego may have been a big problem. Their pride may have been a big problem. This person struggled to find the humility within themselves to even acknowledge that something about them wasn't perfect or that something about them could be improved. So this is like what I would call like a tough nut to crack. It's somebody who is kind of, they're protective instead of being in an energy of, wow, I have an opportunity to make my life better or to have what I want. They are somebody whose initial instinct is to hold on to exactly how they are, exactly the way that they are, and to continue to protect themselves. And so this person, either what you gave them was enough to open them up to the energy of humility. It's kind of like, how I feel is like someone who's never experienced unconditional love. We may not be able to say, wow, someone gave us unconditional love. Someone provided a space of non-judgment to allow us to open up, to be who we are, to express ourselves, and that it is okay to just be exactly as we are. Someone gave me the space. They accepted me. They did not judge me. They did not force me. They did not put their stuff on me. They just held a space for me. And sometimes, like, even initially, if that doesn't sort of break someone open in time, that seed has been planted within that person, that experience, and the desire to experience it again, or also having something to compare all other experiences to, it begins to unwind. It begins to expose itself as what it is, really. And that, the deep understanding that someone loves you or someone gave you that gift can bring about a transformation. I don't know why this is coming to my mind, but I was listening to a Lex Friedman interview about this guy who actually came from a narcissistic family, which is interesting because we're talking about child wounds here. And he had gone for a job interview and he was wearing a suit and a tie, and he stopped in a Walmart. And this older woman with very kind eyes told him how handsome he looked in his suit. And no one had ever complimented him before. And that compliment set him on a completely different life path, because he thought, wow, if that's how people are here, then I'm moving here. And he got offered the job and he took it and he moved and got away from his narcissistic family. And, you know, that was the thing that opened him up. And whether or not you consider a compliment unconditional love, it is someone, you know, putting themselves out there to say to, you know, wow, you know, you look really nice, or to take into consideration even possibly, wow, they must have something important going on that they're wearing a suit. They probably could use some kindness. They look nice in their suit. I think I'll tell them. That is an act of love. That comes from a place of light. And so, and it is earth changing, you know, and so it can happen in the simplest of ways, that catalyst for change is planted through kindness, through love, through light. That's why it's such a beautiful thing to pay it forward and to compliment people and to pay for the car behind you at Starbucks and to do those things, because people don't expect it and they're surprised by it. And it reminds them of the light that is possible in the world, the love that is possible in the world. It reminds them that we don't all have to be defensive all the time and be on our extremes and be protecting our little place of earth that, you know, doesn't even really belong to us, you know? So, there was this opportunity to give, and I feel like you gave, and I feel like you gave selflessly here with this particular card. This card gets me every time. It's like you gave them the seeds to be able to like grow themselves, and it caused them to soften, and it caused them to find humility, to, instead of when they were introspecting, putting up the protection, putting up the defense, letting their ego with the strength card and their pride protect them from change and keep them the same, it allowed them to soften instead. And ultimately that can lead to a reconciliation, a celebration, a coming back together. It may take a lot of time with patience here, in the silence, in the space. But space is also a loving kindness to give someone. Space to transform, space to change, space to figure it out for themselves. Sometimes we think we're doing a great service to people when we offer them advice, when we say, oh, you know, you should do it like this. You know, that'll work for you. And we mean well, we think we're coming at it from a good place. But if I tell you something, you know it because I told you. But if you experience it, you know it because you experienced it. They're very different things. When I plant the seed of love and you say that you need space and I give you the space and I trust the seed of love that I planted and I walk away and I give you the space and the freedom to allow it to transform you, and I don't hold on energetically and I don't focus all my energy on you, I just give you the space. And I trust that if it's meant to be, that seed will take hold and you will find your way back to me. Or if I trust, all the seeds that I have planted will come back to me in some way, shape, or form, right? The law of karma, balance, the universe totally operates on balance. Well, and I'm a Libra, so I focus on that part. But the thing is, if I trust and I leave it, it has the opportunity to grow, and it has the opportunity to transform someone on a meaningful level, and on the meaningful level of experiencing it for themselves, finding it for themselves. And yes, that is a sacrifice. And yes, in some ways, it is the ultimate kind of form of love. I allow you to figure it out for yourself. I don't put my feelings, my thoughts, my, right and wrong on you. I allow you to explore it for yourself, And so anyway, take that as it resonates, whatever. Here we go. 9 of Cups and the Alchemy of Justice. Things have to break apart to come back together sometimes, a lot of times, right? I think it's Rumi that said, where we break is where the light comes in. Jesus. This is intense. Pisces, when love is your magnetic north, when your intention is to spread love and light in the world, and when you allow yourself to be guided by your heart, you are moving in the direction of love. You are moving in the direction of flow. And you are a part of what can be really, really good in this universe, And sometimes you're going to clash, and you're going to clash with other people's wounds, with other people's distortion, with other people's triggers. And you have to keep moving. You have to, you don't have to do anything, actually. You can do whatever you want. But when you do keep moving, and when you do keep trusting, and when you do keep believing, and you do flow with love, we have Earth here, which is a reminder, right, to stay grounded and centered in reality. We can't just be like totally off on the love train. Well, we can. I mean, people have done it, the hippie movement. It has its good and bad also, where it's light and it's dark. Everything is a spectrum. All energy is a spectrum. But there's this energy with the 9 of Cups. If you focus on yourself and your own emotional contentment, and you allow your heart to guide you, it will eventually lead you to what you are seeking. When you apply all of your tools, right? These cards are all talking about the alchemy, which is like, magician kind of energy here. When you move with the flow of love, and you allow love to be your guide, and you allow love to be your true north, right? It is leading you in the direction of more love. And it's not to say that you're not going to encounter things that hurt or things that cause your suffering. You are, we all will. I think I just read like 1 in 14 people has one of the dark triad personality types in them. That's a lot of people that you're going to come into contact with. Most of you probably work with more than 14 people, so some of those people are very unhealthy, and then they're surrounded by enablers, and so those people are also unhealthy. So you know what I'm saying? You're going to come into contact with things that are triggered by your almost existence, right? By your way of doing things. But that doesn't mean that you stop doing them that way, or that you allow this person to get you off your path. When you focus on yourself, the 9 of Cups talks about emotional contentment within ourselves. When you focus on this is the only thing that you have control over. This is the only thing that, you can really affect. You may trigger people. You may trigger the wounds in people. You may get some of the ugliness of people. But that triggering, that ugliness is actually that person's opportunity to soften, to look within, and to ask themselves, why am I triggered by Pisces? Because Pisces is following their heart, because Pisces is loving, because I'm not operating from that place, because I'm operating from a place of wound and distortion and triggering. You're exposing to that person where their vulnerability lies, or where they are tied to something that is lower vibrational. And even that is a gift, even to those whom we just come across. But if you are the pillar of consciousness in your own life, and you stay true to your path of love and your course of love, and making love be your guide, yeah, you're going to be hurt sometimes, but ultimately at the end of the day, when it all balances out and it comes back to you, it's going to come back to you in the form of abundance, in the form of more than enough, in the form of, it's going to balance out. And but you don't want to keep looking here for your validation and your confirmation, because this is that person's choice. It has nothing to do with what you offer them and whether what you offer them is good enough to change them. Sometimes it will change people and sometimes it won't. And that's not your goal. Your goal cannot be to change people. Your goal has to be you with you, your own emotional contentment. And then the side effect of you being emotionally content and operating in the flow of love is you will trigger people. And sometimes people will hurt you. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we get back what we put out. All right. I don't know what this is all about yet, but let's dive in. You're getting a new beginning in love. And I think Spirit is like, hey, trust us. If it's like your past person coming back, you know what I mean? Then maybe it is an honest to goodness new opportunity with that person. If it's a brand new person, which oftentimes an ace is a brand new person, then trust us. You know what I mean? Everything is connected. For Pisces here, please, Spirit. For Pisces. Wow, the cards are flying. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Right. You definitely have love coming in, Pisces. For a lot of you, I do feel like it's a new chapter in a past situation. For others of you, I think it's a new chapter altogether. I feel like someone feels guilty here for having failed you when you needed them. They were not there for you. I feel like this person really realized that they needed to heal, and I think that they left things unfinished. If there was even a crack in the door when this person left, they left it cracked on purpose. They wanted to be able to get back in when they were ready. And this person has been thinking about you. I think they're thinking about you in a very nostalgic way. It says, I miss our inside jokes. So for some of you, you may have a lot of inside jokes with this person. For others of you, there's this energy of, looking back on something almost with rose-colored glasses, just like really highlighting the easy points, the good points, the points that were, that kept it together and have kind of caused it to be still unfinished. I feel like, you may get a new chapter with this person. For others of you with this inseparable card, there's almost this energy of there will always be a bond of love between us. It says our love is always there despite the distance. And, the fact, like, I don't know, this is like a deep, deep reading today. And, I had kind of that feeling before I even sat down at the table that there was just like the energy right here, right now. We're leading into this new moon in Aquarius. And the new moon in Aquarius can be a pretty powerful moon. We're also heading into the new year, the year of the dragon on the 10th. There's a lot of energy. It feels like it's climaxing, or it feels like this is the end, the real kind of like the sediment that was on the bottom. It's like we got to get rid of it. We got to move through it in order to really open up to the new. There's a lot of new energy coming. And it feels like, this idea that, we have to, if I love you, then I have to be with you. Then we need to wake up every morning together. We need to like build a life together. We need to do this. Listen, if love exists, it's an energy. So it exists whether we are with that person or whether we are not. Maybe the ideal way you feel to experience your love from your human perspective would be to be with this person every day and to live in that experience physically and tangibly. That's completely understandable. That's very human. But there are also situations where you're actually kind of better off not having that experience. Because if you're dealing with someone who's toxic, if you're dealing with someone who can't return the love, if you're dealing with someone who is narcissistic or just unhealthy or unable to accept what you're offering them and to give it back to you, then you're better off loving them from afar. You're better off understanding that we are all connected, and separation is an illusion. It is. And we're all connected through the collective consciousness. We are all connected. We're all one. And that sometimes we have to come to the place where we understand and we recognize and we realize that love doesn't mean I have to wake up next to you every day. That may be in your mind the ideal way to experience it, but it isn't necessary for the love to still exist. And sometimes from our human perspective, we don't see from the higher level that this person is actually draining us, and this person may also be distracting us from our soul mission or from the path that we're supposed to follow on our own. And that, yeah, we have a tremendous connection with them, and yeah, we feel the love for them, but that maybe we are actually better off loving them from a distance and coming to a place of peace and acceptance with that, and moving on to find new love to experience waking up next to every day. And sometimes it's not the super intense love feelings that that culminate in a practical relationship that has the flexibility and the adaptability to make it through day in and day out for years and years and years. It's more of a practical kind of experience. So I think this is a moment where the seeds we planted are coming back to us. And it's either coming back to us in the form of a brand new chapter with a brand new person, or it's coming back to us in the form of a seed that we planted that has been growing in silence that is returning. Okay, let's dive into the tarot. This is a little bit of a different reading. I get it. Okay. Let's dive into the tarot. Whatever needs to come out will come out. What does Pisces need to know right now? Please, Spirit, what can you show us? What does Pisces need to know right now? I will be back on. Someone asked in the comments yesterday if Pisces can make a person happy, the person on their mind happy. I'm not going to look directly at if Pisces can make the person on their mind directly happy, but I am going to look at, can you and the person on your mind be happy, and what is the potential there? So I will be doing another reading today about that, to answer that question for the person that left it in the comments and for all of you. I always feel like if someone asks a question, then other people also want the answer. So I feel like if you are left with some questions here about, what a reading. My God. If you are left with some questions here, Pisces, after this reading, you may want to check that reading, because I am going to take a deep dive look at, can we make each other happy? Can this actually work in real life? Can this connection work? What is this? But definitely here, I feel the sense that there is the potential here for some new love. Okay, we have the Hangman, the Hermit, the Empress, the Knight of Wands, the Emperor, and the Eight of Cups. And the Emperor and the Empress are back. They have their backs faced to each other. We have the Fool card on the bottom of the deck. Okay. We're going to clarify. What is the Hangman for Pisces? Wow. Well, it's clarity. That's for sure. This is seeing things clearly. We have the Seven of Wands here, and the Seven of Wands is a very different energy, right, than the Hangman. The Hangman is just hanging out, totally disengaged. It's a very relaxed, very non-aggressive energy. The Seven of Wands is the opposite of that. It's someone who's very engaged. All of their muscles are tense. Their focus, everything is on what's in front of them. And, either fighting to protect what they have here, blocking things, blocking people, or fighting for something. So whichever way it is, whether the energy is blocked and we cannot move forward in a relationship, or whether we are going to fight for a relationship, the clarity has come. And the clarity has come in the form of two major arcanas. So this is divinely guided. And this is in the highest and best with the Sun card here for sure. There may have just been a moment of healing that was needed and clarity that was needed. And looking back on the past, we saw that here with this energy in the middle here with the Strength card, where it's like, if the pride and the ego win, then, with the Seven of Wands, it's like we're blocking the energy. We're not opening to it. If the seeds of love that have been planted and the desire for something more, or the desire to open to love and to have love in one's life wins, then we're coming out of this mode of separation, of not talking, and we're coming motivated. We're coming ready to fight for what we desire. And we have the courage of our convictions here. We have the strength of our own deep inner knowing. And we have the renewed strength of having healed and knowing what our happiness is, and that we want to fight for our happiness, the right to be loved, the desire to be loved and to love. Okay, with the Hermit, this can talk about a loneliness, someone that feels alone, misunderstood. This is someone who's alone but doesn't want to be alone. This is someone who really has learned what they want, and they have taken time by themselves to change, to evolve, to grow. There's a snake on this wand, and the snake for me is always symbolic. The snake has its skin, which is, it cannot get bigger than its skin, right? So in order to grow, it has to shed that skin. And so this is someone who has been alone to go through the transformation of shedding their skin, of growing, of healing, of rebalancing, of regrounding, of recentering. This is almost an energy of like doubling down on what we want. So if this person is that person that on the bottom of the deck was asking for love, was asking to be loved in this world, then this person has been in this energy with the Temperance and the Hermit, possibly for some time, healing and rebalancing and regrounding and preparing themselves for love, and experiencing loneliness to the point where it stopped being loneliness and it started being like empowering. Because like if you're someone who is not okay with themselves, if you can't really meet yourself deeply and you're by yourself, it's a very uncomfortable feeling. It's one where you just feel loneliness, and you can feel depression, and you can feel all these things. If you are meeting yourself deeply and you're alone, like you're going to find a million things to occupy your time. You're going to really enjoy it, and you may actually not want to necessarily really come out of it because you are having such a deep exploration on your own. But with Temperance and the 10 of Pentacles here, this feels like someone who very much wants to heal so that they are able to come together with someone and reach a long-term goal. With the 10 of Pentacles, this is like everyday magic. This is someone who wants to show up for the big moments, the small moments, all the moments, because they all add up. And at the end of our life, we look back on all of those singular moments and we realize like that was a happy life. That was a beautiful life. Look at what we have built. Look at what will live beyond us here. The Empress for Pisces. Damn. Okay. I don't really love that clarification. It's funny, you know, yesterday after the reading, someone commented and like was summing up a lot of the things that I had like dropped throughout the reading. And it really affected me. Like I read it and I just started getting all of these kind of like downloads from it. It was really weird and fun and interesting. But one of the things was that, you know, when the Empress represents our own limitlessness. We all have the capacity to channel the Empress. And inside all of us is the energy of the Empress. We have to tap into it. And what prevents us from tapping into it is the Eight of Swords. Honestly, it is. Because it is this, you know, like yesterday I was talking about questioning our worth. When we open ourselves up to our worth being a question, we are opening up exactly to what the Matrix like has created for us, that where our worth can be questioned. That's not the divine. That's not the universe. The divine would never have you question your worth. The divine is within you. You are the divine. Your worth is not a question. And it's all these thoughts. It's all these like confines that, you know, society and judgment and all these things put on us of you should be like this. You shouldn't be like that. You should say this. You should do this. This is the way to the promised land. The focus of life is to make money and money will make you happy and these things. And they're all a bunch of lies and bullshit. Honest to God. That's been my experience. I don't know. Maybe some of you have had a different experience, and it's really all about the experience. But the thing is, our mind limits us. Our mind prevents us from tapping into our true divine nature, our true limitless, our true capacity. Wow, something is massively changing here for you, Pisces. Wow, it's time. It's divine timing. And so if your life is not looking the way that you want it to, if your outside you feel like doesn't match your inside, you know, what we have a tendency as people to do is then to look outside and be like, okay, well then let's change something outside so that our outside looks like our inside or looks like what we want it to look like. But changing something outside is always temporary. Nothing outside us is eternal. It's all very like, that's why attachment is the source of all of our suffering, because everything is in a constant state of change. Everything is in a constant state of being born and dying. You know, I don't want to get too crazy here, but like, also, you know, we do prevent ourselves from our limitlessness. And this is asking you to look at where your thoughts are defying your belief that you're limitless. In other words, are you telling yourself that you need the emperor to be happy, that you can't be happy unless you have your emperor? Because if you are, then you're putting your happiness outside your body. You're preventing your own limitlessness. You're tricking yourself into believing that you have to have this in order to be happy. You don't. You have everything you need to be happy. The Empress is completely fulfilled on her own. She needs nothing. She has everything. And if whatever she wants, she can create it. She doesn't need the Emperor. She doesn't need anything. She just needs to tap into her own power, her own strength, and her own potential. And this is what's stopping her. The Eight of Swords. The things that she tells herself that are in direct opposition to this energy. The energy of believing that you're limitless and that you're the divine experiencing itself and that you're capable of absolutely anything and everything. Knight of Wands. The Hermit. Wow. 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 You cannot make this stuff up. So the Nine of Cups here is, remember I said, when you offer love to people, you may trigger them. You may see the ugliness in them. And it may hurt. It may cause your suffering. But you don't stop loving. You don't change this energy about yourself because you had this reaction from one person or from a group of people or from, the people at work, this person, that person, da 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 da. You keep flowing with what you feel is your guiding light. And it will affect other people, right? But it may be the place where they break open and the light shines through. It may be that spark that helps them to change. And you see, we're clarifying this Knight of Wands, which is clearly coming for the Empress. And we see that this is the Hermit who's now in motion going after what they desire. And why? Because they were triggered into finding their own emotional contentment. They were triggered into healing. They were triggered into an energy where they were forced to look within, or they were forced to face their own loneliness, the prospect of being without love, having now experienced it. Maybe they hadn't experienced it until they met you, Pisces. And now that they have experienced it, it has caused this breaking open energy where now the light can shine through. The light of love can shine through, and it can guide this person into healing, into this energy of, tempering who they have been and what they have been, softening. It's that softening energy, opening up to a different way of being and a different way of experiencing life. And now this person, look, they want to offer something to you. Look at this. Also, there's 1 cup in the Page of Cups. There's 9 cups here. That's the 10 of Cups. Underneath that, you have the 10 of Pentacles. That's big for me. It's a big, big sign. But this is also someone who, now that they have found their own emotional contentment, can offer you emotion, can offer you something they couldn't offer you before. And they can now support an energy of building something day in and day out that is beautiful, that is solid, that is stable, that has the potential to go well beyond your years here. Okay, the Emperor. We have the 2 of Wands and the 7 of Cups. You also have the 8 of Cups here. The Emperor is at a choice point, and the Emperor has to decide, what are they going to walk away from, and what are they going to take a leap of faith toward? That is what the Emperor is evaluating. And I feel this Emperor has imagined their life. Should they go one direction or should they go the other? They've looked at what they can envision as the outcome with either choice that they make. And it seems that this person is choosing collaboration. This person is choosing a life where they share a vision, they share a plan, and they work equally with another to build it, to make it happen, to bring it into fruition. The Emperor makes decisions, they don't sit at crossroads. And I think, this Emperor they have kind of done their due diligence. They have asked themselves, okay, if I choose this path, to stay by myself or to go in a new direction, whatever, then this is what I will be without, and this is what I will be with, And if I choose to open up to love and to come to Pisces, then what that looks like this, or that may look like this. They've been fantasizing, they've been imagining, they've been thinking. And I feel as though they have really made their choice. And I feel like they have made their choice as to who to collaborate with. And for some of you, they may have had to walk away from something else, from someone else, from, maybe they had a family that would never support this relationship, and they knew that choosing this relationship would mean, leaving their family. They knew, maybe this is, there's distance between you. Maybe that was that they couldn't really imagine leaving where they were in order to make this love happen. And now it's like this leaving something is part of the decision to come forward to something. They have to leave something else behind. They have to come. And it can even be like a way of thinking. It can be, where in their mind, they were focused on fear and illusion before, like when they imagined coming forward to you, Pisces, or like being in a relationship or committing or really doubling down on this relationship. They may have been filled with fear and illusion before, because they were coming from that lower vibrational place with that strength card there, They were coming from a place of ego, and ego tries to keep us safe. So ego will tell us all the worst case scenarios that could happen. And that may have prevented them from stepping into their true power and choosing what they actually really wanted to choose. They may have let fear take over. But now I feel like they're letting the fantasy, the idea, the hope, the dream kind of take over of what it could be like to share this vision and to build this with you, Pisces. With the Fool card here, this person they are coming light. They're not bringing heavy burdens of the past. They're not bringing a ton of unhealed childhood wounds. They're not bringing the burdens of everything else that they have been through and lived, and the burden of their fear, and the burden of their, the weight of their heavy heart. They're free to make this choice. So let's clarify this Eight of Cups and just see for some of you what this might be that they have to walk away from. It's not, I knew the World card was going to come here. Oh my gosh. Okay. So you guys, you're getting the energy of the Two of Pentacles and the Three of Swords in reverse with the Four of Wands upright. They're leaving behind this inability to make a choice, this inability to choose the path that they want to be on. They're also leaving behind the wounding. And it looks like they're, at least in this energy here, this person is coming forward, I feel like, to try to build a foundation that is strong and that is something that can be celebrated and something that can last. They're really looking to close out a cycle in this world. For some of you, with the World card and the Four of Wands, this person's ready to move. This person's ready to go find a new home together. They're ready to take a leap of faith, potentially. Pisces. All right, let me dive in with some messages here for you. I will come back later today and I will do the reading on whether or not, you can make each other happy, and whether or not this really has the potential to go the distance if it does come back together. And, or if you're in a new relationship, whatever your scenario is, it should help. It should give you some kind of insight. All right. If you're dealing with a water sign, I miss your body. I'm sorry I hide my emotions. I've checked your profile. And you must be my soulmate. I do feel that energy of people waking up to, like, if I'm still thinking about this person, I get this a lot. Like, if I'm still thinking about this person after all this time, there must be a deeper level of connection here. If you're dealing with a fire sign, you will be my spouse. I admire you. I'm learning how to love you. You deserve everything the world has to offer. Every show and movie reminds me of us. You all said this kind of was sticking out. I'm so confused. Why now? I feel like this person feels like this is all kind of coming up at one time for them. You know, like, I don't know, making itself clear, revealing itself very kind of almost, it feels like kind of suddenly. If you're dealing with an earth sign, I'm a mess. There's a fight in my head daily. Nobody else comes close. If you're dealing with an air sign, we both have work to do on ourselves. Whoa. You're in my dreams. Nobody compares. I am jealous. I am fascinated by your divinity. See you soon. Pisces, this is what I have for you today. I know this was a crazy reading. It got kind of deep. Hopefully, you know, those of you who needed those messages got them, or who were interested in them were able to receive them. And those of you who weren't were just able to scoot right by. Until next time, Pisces, I send you off with all my very best. Always, always, always. If this reading resonates, if this reading helped, please let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I really, really appreciate you guys so much. Your support, your comments are amazing. I adore you. If there's something that you want me to ask the cards, put it in the comments. And, you know, if I can, I will. All right. I love you guys. I send you off with all my very best. Until next time, new love. Bye.